Vă salut, doamnelor și domnilor! Invitata mea din această seară este ambasadoarea Marii Britanii în Republica Moldova, Fern Horine. Bună seara și mă bucur să vă vedem la Bălți!
Mulțumesc, Victoria, și mulțumesc pentru acest interviu și această oportunitate pentru mine de a vorbi despre prioritățile mele și sper că reușitele mele, dar trebuie să vorbesc mai mult în limba engleză, dar încerc să poate în viitor pot să vorbesc mai mult în limba română. Am învățat limba română și mă bucur să vorbesc această limbă frumoasă, dar pentru un interviu este mai ușor pentru mine să vorbesc în limba engleză. Vă mulțumesc!
Apreciez foarte mult că ați început cel puțin acest interviu în limba română. Și acum vreau să vă întreb, deci în noiembrie se împlinește un an de când ați venit în Republica Moldova, un an de mandat. Cum v-ați acomodat aici? Cum este Republica Moldova? Cum ați descrie poporul nostru?
So that's a really good question. I feel that my first year here in Moldova has gone very quickly. It seems to have flown, time flies. But I think the main things that I have found is I feel after just a few weeks I felt at home here in Moldova. At home, living in Chișinău and getting used to my job. I have felt really welcomed, and the warm hospitality of the Moldovan people has really touched me and my husband. And I think, so I feel like it's been, you know, there's a phrase or a description of Moldova as a small country with a big heart, but I have really felt that, that hospitality, that warmth and that welcome. So it's been a really lovely way to sort of start a new job in a new country.
Care sunt prioritățile dumneavoastră pentru următorii ani de mandat?
So I think my priorities will continue. The United Kingdom wants a safe, secure, stable, modern European Moldova. We want to see Moldova progress and grow and develop. We want to see a prosperous Moldova. So from the British Embassy and me as the British Ambassador here in Moldova, we want to support the aspirations of the Moldovan people and support the path that they choose to go on. So from a British government point of view, we held a strategic dialogue with Moldova back in April earlier this year, and we sort of went through a number of areas where our work will continue and where we hope to develop more work. One of them is around our defence and security partnership and deepening that partnership with Moldova. Another is around how we can support economic development. I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about that. And earlier this year, I was really pleased to sign an agreement extending our trade, relieving trade barriers. So for me, there's something around security and prosperity for Moldova and how the United Kingdom can support those aspirations for this country.
Cum ați descrie această relație dintre Republica Moldova și Marea Britanie?
So that's a good question. I feel very lucky because I feel like I have arrived at a time when the bilateral relationship, the bilateral partnership between the United Kingdom and Moldova has never been better. We have a strong partnership with the Moldovan government, but also, as I said, a lot of our work is to support the Moldovan people and their aspirations. In my time here as ambassador, we've had a foreign secretary, a minister of foreign affairs visit. We've had our new defence secretary visit, And just last week in Chișinău, we had our Minister for Europe visit. So the regularity and pace of visits from British government ministers here is a good indication of a close relationship and partnership. So my short answer is our relations have been never better. They're really strong, but we need to carry on working on that, and I'm sure there's lots more avenues that we can be exploring to support Moldova and the population here.
Din câte cunoașteți, Republica Moldova și-a propus un parcurs european, iar în 2022 a obținut statutul de țară candidată la aderare la Uniunea Europeană. Cum credeți, s-a schimbat ceva odată cu obținerea acestui statut în Moldova?
So I think the first thing I'd say is I'm not sure it's for the British ambassador to sort of set out how and what Moldova needs to do to join the European Union. As you know, the United Kingdom chose to leave the European Union, but that doesn't mean to say that we don't think other countries should join and they have a choice to join and to cement their future with the European Union. I know that the road to joining the European Union will be a long one, and there'll be a lot of work for Moldova, for the government to do when it comes to aligning laws and aligning regulation with European Union rules. So there's a lot of sort of technical work that needs to be done. But I think from a UK, again from a British ambassador point of view, we see Moldova as a modern European country. So if the people of Moldova choose that as their aspiration, then we support what the people of Moldova want. And there will be a referendum next month. And the thing that I think about when I think about elections and I think about people's opportunity to choose, for me the most important thing, and the thing I'd say to your listeners, to your viewers, to the people who read your website, the most important thing is to go and exercise that democratic right to go and vote. They have the choice and they have the power to choose the future direction of this country. That's a really powerful thing. So I just encourage people to go and vote whatever way they want to vote.
Credeți că această cale aleasă de Moldova ar putea crește investițiile și nivelul de trai aici în Moldova?
I think so, yes. I think that when as I said, we left the European Union, but when I think about what the European Union has done for many countries, it has for many, many years provided security and prosperity to their members. So I can absolutely see why Moldova would want to have that security and prosperity. The important point is prosperity and opportunity. So when I think about whether it's sort of membership of the European Union or just the opportunity to increase economic development and to support businesses here, I think that the European Union is an opportunity for many businesses. We've seen an increase in exports from Moldova to Europe, to other parts of Europe, and indeed for the UK we've seen a sort of boost in trade. We have a free trade agreement with Moldova, and as I mentioned earlier, I was really pleased earlier this year to sign an extension to a tariff liberalisation agreement that we signed last year. So we extended that for 5 more years. So a Moldova with a European perspective and businesses here with a European perspective, I think absolutely have the opportunity to grow, to attract investment, to find new markets to export to. So It may take a while, but I absolutely think that there is a path to greater prosperity for this country.
Care sunt domeniile în care Marea Britanie susține Republica Moldova?
So we support Moldova in a number of areas. Since 2015, I think our overseas development assistance and projects that we have supported here total around £50 million. So that support covers a wide range of areas. They can be projects to support anti-corruption efforts or support reform of the judiciary. There are projects to support independent media organisations like yours to ensure that they have freedom and the ability to report and tell the truth to their viewers. There's a range of projects and programs around economic development. So, for example, we support something called the Future Technologies activity, which is supporting new sectors in business or developing sectors in business like IT or the creative industries, music and film. So there's a clutch of projects that we do and a range of projects we do to support economic development. And also I have to talk about the support that we give to Moldova to support and build its resilience, because we have seen an increase in hybrid threats and hybrid activity in this country, because for whatever reason countries like Russia may feel that they want to influence and undermine the stability of Moldova. Earlier this year we issued a press release with the US and Canada around Russian plans to destabilize the elections. So there is an area of work that we do which is about cybersecurity, tackling disinformation, trying to reduce or mitigate the threats that come from attempts to destabilize Moldova.
Potrivit estimărilor Ministerului de Externe, în Marea Britanie se află una dintre cele mai mari diaspore moldovenești, în jur de 42.000. Spuneți-ne, vă rog, cum credeți, de ce aleg ei această țară și dacă există unele facilități pentru moldoveni acolo în Marea Britanie?
Yeah, so many Moldovans live in the United Kingdom. In fact, my best friend's neighbour is from Moldova, so it's a very small world. And it's fantastic because I think people from Moldova enrich the United Kingdom. So it's a large diaspora. I think their interests are varied. They're contributing to our economic growth in our country. One of the things that I hear about particularly is the issue of the recognition of driving licenses. So whether there's a mutual recognition of driving licenses, and that's something that we've talked to the Moldovan government about. It came up as an issue in the strategic dialogue, so we have regular discussions about this. I hope that we will be able to announce some progress in the coming weeks on this issue. The other things that I know that Moldovan citizens in the United Kingdom are interested in are around air links between the UK and Moldova, so the ability of more flights coming in. Earlier this year, we signed with the government of Moldova an air services agreement, which creates the ground and the sort of environment for companies to increase their flights or for companies to fly here. Ultimately, as you know, it's a decision for the business. It's a commercial decision for businesses to fly here, but those conditions and the ground is ready for those airlines if they want to and choose to come and fly here.
La Bălți nu sunteți pentru prima oară. Există un interes pentru acest oraș? Este interesant pentru investitorii străini?
So from a personal point of view, yes, this is my second visit to Bălți and I'm really happy to be back here. While I'm talking to you, my husband is being a tourist in Bălți, so I hope to join him soon. But from my point of view, it's really important for me to visit and get out and around Moldova. I am not the British ambassador to Chișinău, I am the British ambassador to the Republic of Moldova, and Bălți is a dynamic and vibrant city, so it's really important for me to come here, to see it and to see what's happening. So when I drive around the city, I can see that from a business point of view, it feels very dynamic and energetic, and I'm sure there are opportunities for investors and for businesses to come and work here. And again, I think that's an important part of my job, is to encourage trade and to encourage economic development between our countries. I've been pleased in my time here to support British companies investing in Moldova, not here in Bălți yet, so maybe there'll be lots of reasons for me to come back, but I think that this city has a lot to offer, and I hope to come and visit many more times.
Există în Bălți proiecte implementate cu suportul ambasadei?
Yeah, absolutely. So I talked a bit already about the future technologies activity, and this is the project that supports developing new sectors like digital, like artificial intelligence. And so one of the projects, one of the pieces of that project is Nortec, you know, the Innovation Incubation Centre next to the university. So I'm really proud that the UK has been part of the group that supports Nortec, which can be an incubator, it can be a place for businesses to grow, and some of those, the sectors that will provide jobs in the future, some of those sectors, some of those business areas can grow here in Bălți. A couple of the other projects that we do and we work on, there is a project called Media M, which is supporting independent media organisations. So we support 2 organisations here, and that is about helping both the journalists and the business side of media organisations to help them develop. And I think, you know, going back to my point about hybrid threats and hybrid activity, it's really important, the role that you have here, the role that media has in being able to differentiate between information and disinformation. So supporting the media is really important. And there's another project that we have which supports civil society organisations. So we've supported Audiviz, which is a civil society organisation supporting people with hearing vision impairment, and we supported a project about women with women and girls with hearing disabilities. So there's a range of things that we've done, both from a business point of view, from a media point of view, and then from a civil society point of view. And I hope there's more that we can pursue in the future.
Dar pe viitor, sunt planificate careva proiecte pentru municipiul Bălți?
So I hope that we will be able to continue some of those projects, and we're also obviously looking at what other areas should we be working in as the British government, and using our UK aid from the British people to support those issues that I was talking about earlier, whether it's about economic development or resilience to threats or supporting civil society. So I think those projects I hope will continue, and we're always open to other ideas and other suggestions of what we can do here in this region.
Ce oportunități poate oferi Marea Britanie pentru tinerii din Moldova?
So yeah, and one of the things I've been doing today is I love and am slightly scared of, which I went to visited a school and spoke to school children in class 10 to 12. As an ambassador, that sometimes can be the most scary interview you can do with children who ask really direct, straightforward questions. So that was really great. But one of the things I talked to them about was our Achieving program. So this is a scholarship program that we offer to support postgraduate degrees. So it's a full scholarship for students who've done their first degree but who want to continue their studies. The thing about the Achieving program, Achieving scholarship, we have, I think, probably had 120 Moldovan scholars. But what's great is that the people that we pick, we want to pick future leaders and change makers here in Moldova. And they don't have to be leaders of businesses, or you can be a leader at any level in your organization as long as you lead by example. So for me, that Achieving scholarship is a great way of investing in the future of Moldova. All of those students have to come back and must return to Moldova, and then invest their time and energy in their communities and in whatever avenue, whatever profession they choose to follow.
La început de mandat v-ați propus să vizitați toate raioanele din Republica Moldova. Vreau să ne spuneți câte ați reușit să le vedeți până acum.
That's a great question. I haven't been counting, so I need to make sure I'm counting all of the regions and areas I've been to. I need to think about the number. I feel like I've been around Moldova quite a lot. So I've visited Bălți before. Today I was in Râșcan. I've been to Drochia. I have been down in Giurgiulești, in the very south of the country. I've been to the Romanian border on the western side. I've been to Comrat. I've been to Tiraspol. So I feel like I've been around, but there's so much more of the country that I haven't yet visited. And for me, again, you know, I said to you that I'm not just the British ambassador to Chișinău. For me, it's so important to get out and about and meet people like yourself, like the people I was visiting today. One thing I did want to talk about with you was the centre that I visited earlier today, which is a sort of a Moldovan woman who also has British citizenship, Victoria Dunford, who has invested time and energy in developing the Phoenix Centre in Râșcan, and this centre is for to support children with disabilities. So it's a day centre. They go and collect them, bring them to the centre, and they have activities, and they are supported, and they meet other people who have similar disabilities to them. And also at the same time, there is a care home for the elderly. And those sorts of projects, Victoria, that can support both the young people in this country and the elderly in this country really have an impact on the community that they are in, but they also have an impact on me as a diplomat to see how people invest in their community. So I get so much joy and so much energy from visiting all parts of Moldova I've seen. I want to see much more of it, and I hope to see more projects like that of people investing in their communities and supporting each other.
Care este locul din Moldova pe care vă doriți foarte mult să-l vizitați, dar încă nu ați apucat să-l vedeți?
Yeah, so I haven't been much further north than Bălți, Drochia and Râșcan, so I absolutely want to get a bit further north. I haven't been to Soroca, I haven't seen the fortress there, I haven't been to Edineț, and I'm not going to pronounce this right, Născlavcea. I haven't seen that sort of beautiful view of the river and the island. So there's much more for me to see in the north of Moldova, but I have some more time here, so I hope that I'll be able to get out and about. I do really enjoy, as I said, getting out of the city and seeing people and meeting people and hearing about their lives outside of the big city, Chișinău.
Doamna ambasadoare, acestea au fost întrebările. Eu vă mulțumesc mult pentru acest interviu și sper să ne mai vizitați.
Mulțumesc frumos!
Și vă mulțumesc, dragi urmăritori. La revedere!